For my ugly slash conventionally unattractive girls, I have a question. How do you find the confidence to
Get ready with me while we talk about the dynamics of being the ugly friend in the female friendship group.
How are my standards are so high while being an ugly girl?
Or you just have features that don't fit the European beauty standards.
For my ugly slash conventionally unattractive girls, I have a question. How do you find the confidence to keep being yourself and keep being you, day to day, despite everything you see in the media and like around you in life in general? I feel like my self-confidence, especially since I've moved here, keeps wavering. Some days I'm like, oh, I like myself, but then other days I'm like, oh, I don't really like the way I look. And I'm getting very tired of this. I'm getting tired of the way my brain is trying to make me feel. I turn 25 next month. 25 years is too many years to feel this way about myself. I feel like I've had enough. And whilst I feel like I don't care about what people, perceive me or what they think of me, I feel like it's me, myself, and how I see my reflection that's just been affecting me. And I've been doing things to change that, but I feel like I can be doing a lot more. I think another thing is that I feel as if I wait for permission to do certain things. I don't know if it's a youngest Nigerian child thing, but I feel like that's also holding me back a lot. Like I've been not super attractive for 25 years now. I just feel like my brain should be, used to it and not keep telling me things about myself, but it still does. I'm trying to get it to stop. And I know therapy would most likely help me, but I cannot afford that right now. I'm going to a day party tomorrow, and at first I was kind of excited, but now I'm just dreading it because I just know how I'll start to think and how I will start to feel. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I'm tired of this. I just want to change here. If someone can take out my brain and do some little surgeries and then put it back, that'll be good. Or you can take out my eyeballs and I can put other eyeballs that I can see myself. So hopefully that will change the way I perceive myself. Either way, I want to really focus this next year on changing myself and bettering myself. I don't know if I should document that. And also, before anyone comments, oh, but you're not, you don't look, this video is not for that. I just wanted to yap and get this off my chest.
I'm tired of this question, but okay, let's talk about it. How are my standards are so high while being an ugly girl? Yeah, I guess that's the most common question on my TikTok. Because I'm a Slavic girl and I usually talk about my high dating standards. And as you can see, I'm not like a model. People from my TikTok comment on my nose, my teeth, my eyes, my weight. So often. But still my dating life is much better than theirs. And I date CEOs, entrepreneurs, basically guys who earn 6-7 figures a year. How did I manage to do so? The thing is, looks can take you to millionaires. The thing is that looks can take you to a senior manager. But if you want a CEO, the looks will not work. I mean, not only looks. Of course, you should be carrying yourself, looking nice, looking neat. But let's be honest, 60 to 70% of women do this basic level. Next thing you should have character. I remember I met a vice president of the fund. I didn't know back then that he is a VP, and I came super casual on this date. Like it was a year ago and I was in jeans, in my sneakers, basically after a hangover. But he liked me so much, so much. He was texting me later crazy messages. And I mean, he was super beautiful. And you know why? He told me, because you're witty. He found me witty. Basically my sense of humor, my rough part, my joyful part. That guy could choose any model-looking girl. But the thing, he was actually searching not looks. He was searching for joy, for intelligence, for somebody to talk with. Since I'm an entrepreneur myself, we just hit it off immediately. They also search for ambitions. They search for women to talk with. And I have all of this. But again, many women do. Many women are smart and witty and career-driven. But what's the difference? They put a low price tag. They think they do not deserve the best. They think they should be model-looking. They think that maybe in another life. And then suddenly they find themselves being rejected by a bartender or by a 25 years old guy without job. The more you value yourself, more high value men see it. They do not choose a girl who has a low price tag. They choose somebody who knows their price. Because if in supermarket you see a beef steak which costs $1, you have a feeling that there is something wrong about it. And even the guy without job would say no to it. Same with dating life. The higher you value yourself, the more you get. Let me know what you think in comments.
Get ready with me while we talk about the dynamics of being the ugly friend in the female friendship group. I had really bad luck because I was brought up not only in the church, but also in a very racially hostile area. So all these things contributed to how I felt about my self-image. I was always natural up until being maybe 16 years old, whereas all of the other girls at church had your braids, your twists, a few girls started to have weaves eventually, and I wasn't allowed to have any of that. I went to Deeper Life, if anyone's wondering, and part of that church's ethos is nothing artificial, no earrings, no piercings, everything else. But my parents were very, very strict, so they adhered to a lot of those rules, whereas a lot of the parents of the other kids, especially the female kids, did not adhere to those rules. So I already was standing out quite a lot, not just in church, but also in school, because I always had my natural hair out. I didn't have earrings. I never wore trousers. I ended up making friends with, for some reason, the really popular girls at school, but also at church. And looking back, part of me wonders if the attractive girls, or it comes with a little bit of immaturity. And I mean, I do have a phenomenal personality, but I think sometimes a lot of these girls like being around girls who make them look even prettier or even more attractive. But there was also situations where they would be my friends secretly, but then at church they wouldn't really be sitting next to me or talking to me, and they would be focusing on the boys and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of boy craziness going on at a lot of these conservative churches. I vividly remember the black boys in our school putting together a list of the girls that they thought was most attractive in ranking, and I was definitely at the bottom, and all of the other dark-skinned girls were nearer to the bottom as well, and the top 3 girls were, you guessed it. So both at school and church, I had these incredibly gorgeous friends, and I could see how it was starting to change the dynamic, because all of our conversations would be about the guys that they fancied and the guys that fancied them back. Not much of the conversation would be about me and, what I was doing, what I was up to. I think at that age, it was almost like if you didn't have guys interested in you, then you didn't have anything worthy to talk about. And looking back, there were situations where guys did like me, but even some of the popular guys did like me, especially in those rom-com scenarios where you're paired up together and then you realize, oh, your personalities really gel well. But they wouldn't ever confess or admit to these feelings. And when people would start to catch on, oh, you're spending a lot of time with Awosa, they'd be whatever. And then they would just start to treat me really badly. By the time I got into college, I had done the whole makeover thing, especially for prom. I had texturized my hair. I'd started wearing way more makeup. I'd started styling my hair in a much more Eurocentric way. I was wearing weaves and stuff. And again, there's nothing wrong, in a vacuum with any of these things, but it was also the reason why I was doing it was incredibly toxic. And I remember feeling really frustrated because my kind of ugly duckling reputation from secondary school had followed me into college, especially because a lot of people in my college went to my secondary school. Hey, this is going to be long again, so join me for part 2.
So can we talk about how much being considered ugly when you're younger has an impact on how you date when you're older? When you grow up being conventionally unattractive, whether you're overweight or you're a person of color in predominantly white spaces, or you just have features that don't fit the European beauty standards, it's so hard. It's hard seeing all of your conventionally attractive friends have boyfriends in middle school and high school, but no one's checking for you because you're not pretty. I personally never had any romantic experiences until college. That was when I had my first boyfriend, my first kiss, first everything, and it was literally one of the worst experiences of my life. This guy was literally so terrible to me. Not only was he ignorant and racist, but he was just a bad boyfriend. He didn't know how to treat a woman, and I settled for it because I never had anyone express interest in me before him. And despite him being a bad boyfriend, I stayed with him until he broke up with me. And at that point, I then proceeded to basically beg for him back because I literally did not think there would ever be anyone else out there that would love me the way he did. And I was really depressed for a long time because I didn't know my worth and I was putting all of my worth into male validation. And looking back, I am really grateful for that breakup because it allowed me to realize a valuable lesson in self-worth. Despite only ever having one man interested in me in my entire life at this point, I was okay with it because I was able to learn through that relationship that I don't need a man for validation. I don't need anyone to basically determine my value. So while I might not have had a million men knocking down my door to date me when I was younger, I'm okay with it because I learned a valuable lesson that a lot of girls don't learn until they're way older and have experienced a lot more life. So I say all this to say, if you are a young woman who's struggling with self-confidence because, you might not be as conventionally attractive as the girls around you, just know that your time will come and know that you don't need a man for validation. Be confident, be yourself, and the right person will find you.
Hi friends, we have come to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. My opinion about the topic, I do not think there is somebody who's ugly. It's just somebody's description, somebody's perspective of somebody, and if they say that to you, it's how they see it, it's not your reality. So I think you should just have a different opinion about yourself and just say, I am beautiful, I am fearfully and wonderfully created, I am in the image of God, and nothing anybody else tells me is gonna put me down. That's it, girl. Don't let anybody put you down because they have a different perspective of you. Thanks for watching. Please do comment in the comment section down below. Till next time, bye.